So the long-awaited new series from the creator of Naruto is here. Samurai 8, The Tale of Hachimaru, Chapter 1. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I have not seen quite a mixed bag of people talking on a brand new series that is of this magnitude, probably since I started, because wow, I'm not gonna lie, people right now are very mixed on this one, and there's just so much to say because this being the next series, you know, because at the end of the day, Boruto is not handled by Kishimoto. To my understanding, he just supervises that. So this is the next thing that Kishimoto has truly worked on since chapter 700 of Naruto. Or, I guess there was a spring manga or whatever and the little one-shots and stuff like that. But serialized, this is the first, and yeah, a lot of different opinions. Let's talk about it. Is it legendary, or boy, we off to a bad start?
Whether Facebook, Twitter, or the two, make sure to steer clear, cause I'm coming through like...
Okay, so the way that it opens up is very interesting. It opens up with a character that appears to... He has the appearance of the Sage of Six Paths at the very least, and he's in some sort of temple, and he's talking to some sort of samurai-looking character. The art on that particular character, the one that was like kind of giving, I guess, a speech or whatnot, kind of looked like a character from Bleach. It looked like a mixture of like a Tozen with something else. I can't really put my finger on it, but really appreciated the opening color pages for this series, because obviously, you know, that's going to be a big deal. This series is a long laster. If this series becomes the next big thing, everyone's going to be looking back at these pages, you know, and saying, okay, so this is where it all began. Now, as we talked about in some of the previous videos, in case you don't know, the synopsis of this whole thing is basically a character. He's a kind of disabled, robotic type of character, and he wants to become a samurai, but his father seemingly is teaching him some values and stuff like that. And there's a lot of interesting bits in this. Honestly, this chapter was loaded with a lot of content, and for better or worse, because I've seen some people say that they absolutely hated it. This is off to a bad start. It was overpacked. Some people say, wow, this is great. There's a very big mix, and it's not one-sided on either way, at the very least from what I've seen, of like a unanimous decision on whether or not this was a great first chapter. I'll tell you one thing, to kind of just jump over everything, I will say for a first chapter, it is very, or better yet, vastly different from the shonen from the past that we've gotten. I feel as though My Hero Academia, Black Clover, and those series in particular were some of the last that were modeling themselves of the old way, because this series, it's a science fiction mixture with like samurai action shonen, and it's not simplistic by any means. If Naruto, Hunter x Hunter, One Piece, Bleach all had simplistic, very easy to digest first chapters, this one kind of went the exact opposite. Honestly, I would argue, my opinion, based off what I saw with this first chapter, this series probably would have benefited from not being in Shonen Jump. Maybe a weekly magazine, but not Shonen Jump. And what I mean by that is this would have benefited from being a Seinen series, because it seems as though there's a lot of content to digest, and that's probably one of the reasons why a lot of people already got lost with this first chapter, because there was a lot. It was very busy, but that's not to its detriment either. Honestly, I can't say that, oh, having a lot of context and, you know, immediately fast forwarding, because it seems as though this chapter was packed with a lot of the tropes that you would get. Like, I mean, for crying out loud, the cat, warrior, samurai, robot. It seems as though Kishimoto wanted to just kind of get past everything that you would expect for the first, like, 30 to 50 to 100 chapters of a shonen to get to his story, in a sense. So that's something that's very interesting, because that means that the pacing needs to be consistent to a point where it's like, okay, are we going to continue the way this was going, very quick like that, a lot of information? Is it going to slow down now? Or was that just Kishimoto really trying to start off with a big bang? Let's talk about the character designs. Some people were very disappointed with it. Again, mixed reactions. I personally can definitely see where the complaints are coming from, because some people are saying that, holy cow, the character designs are way too Naruto-like. Again, this is not drawn by Masashi Kishimoto, but the character designs, I'm imagining for everything, he gives like the rough idea of what it's going to look like, and then passes it on to the person that's drawing it, because it's clear as day between the samurai that had that final battle with Hachimaru. He looked straight up like QB Chakra Mode Naruto. Can't deny that. There was a lot of characters. I mean, the video game character that Hachimaru was using looked like a mixture of Hokage Naruto with like a scar of like Zoro from One Piece. So very, very reminiscent of the designs of Naruto, but it's cool that at the very least he's having another artist do it, because Hachimaru, despite some of the similarities, because again there's just so much to talk about, to like some of the ideas and concepts from Naruto, Hachimaru doesn't look in particular, in my opinion, like a straight up Naruto character design. And I feel as though there was so much thematic expression of what this series means to Masashi Kishimoto in general, his career, his legacy, and many different aspects, because between just looking at the battle pieces, there was just a lot of depth, and I felt as though while I was reading this, I was trying to almost understand, well, where is this man at in his life? And that's where I like to look at certain aspects of series. Maybe it's a different perspective, maybe you don't like this perspective, but nevertheless, it's mine. I look at it as, okay, so is he trying to tell a story in terms of his career? Because some of the similarities that I would compare it to, in a sense of like, okay, where is this in Masashi Kishimoto's life? If you look at it, in Naruto, towards the end, we did see Madara, right? And old Madara had those mechanics hooked up to the back, and he was stuck to that machine. They reused that design for the beginning when Hachimaru is strapped up to the big machine that his father had him stuck to, and, you know, he wasn't allowed to leave. It's very thematic, again, even of what's going on in society now. A lot of kids that they'll just stay in their room all day playing video games. Maybe they're sick, maybe they have a disability, and they're just in this VR world playing video games all day. So it was very reminiscent of that. But also, if you look at it from in terms of where Masashi Kishimoto's life is at, from going to what he probably felt, from what I hear most mangaka feel, like they're stuck, like they're slaves to the machine in a sense. So what Hachimaru starts off, it's almost as if, in a way, Kishimoto passed it down, and Hachimaru is starting off from where Kishimoto left off, in terms of if Kishimoto was represented by Madara being stuck to that machine, it could be metaphoric that now either the artist and him are stuck to this machine, or this is a new day, a new age, and even though he was stuck to the machine back then, he's a little bit more loose now, because, you know, obviously after a certain point, he gets disconnected from the machines, and then seppuku, like, I couldn't even break this down. Like, if I had to break this down to somebody that has no idea about anime and manga tropes or whatever, they would look at me like, that's not for me, because it definitely is loaded with science fiction, but it's fascinating to me. Honestly, I would say for the new era, if this is what Shonen Jump is heading towards, I like it. I like it, and I'm not saying any bias, because again, there were some things that you could argue are issues. Maybe it was a bit too complex. Maybe it was too hard for somebody, which again, this is why I say this should not be in Shonen Jump. This should be in some type of Seinen magazine, because it's going to be a little too hard for kids these days to really digest it. But I'll be honest with you, whether the Shonen Jump rankings have an effect or not, because, you know, there's always back and forth about, no, that's nothing, that's just the order of the magazine, whatever. Votes-wise, this series, no matter how it does, votes-wise, they're pushing this. This is absolutely getting an anime, 100%. I could tell that, depending on what studio they go with, please no Peria. Oh God, no Peria, please. Okay, we had them, you know, what they did with Naruto Shippuden, what they did with Boruto, Black Clover, Tokyo Ghoul. Enough. I really hope that this gets a very high quality treatment, which seems to be where Shonen Jump and Shueisha is headed, because at the end of the day, and those are aesthetics, you know, aside from the story at hand that we have right here with the first chapter. But I'm just thinking long term of, I know this is going to be around for a while. I bet my bottom dollar they paid this man a lot of money to come back and create this, regardless if he's just writing and somebody's doing the art, which we got to acknowledge too, the artist, because this is a multi talented package. This isn't just one person. This is supposedly two people working on this. So I definitely want to give credit where it's due. The action pieces, from the beginning, we have what feels like a giant Naruto battle. Very nicely done. The art, again, maybe a bit too busy at times, but my gosh, from the cybernetic stuff where the guy's face comes out, which it does feel a little bit, I'm not going to lie, aesthetics wise, not plot-wise or anything like, well, maybe you could argue plot-wise too, but just the aesthetics, like certain elements, does give me some fairy tale vibes, and that's not a good sign. I'll be honest with you. The one character in the beginning where he had, like, he looks kind of like Guild Arts with the cybernetic face, so that kind of gave me that feeling. Also, the whole plot of trying to collect these 7 keys, this whole samurai world, the 7 keys that they're trying to collect, it does give me a little fairy tale vibe there. Maybe the artist was inspired by fairy tale. Again, this is a collaboration between 2 people, so I'm imagining it's not 100% what Masashi Kishimoto wants, but everything, especially if the artist is drawing it and giving some ideas here and there. But I ain't gonna lie, this first chapter, if I was to just put it straight up, I really was fascinated that they allowed this guy to do this. And if this is a sign of where we're headed with the next generation of Shonen Jump, I think Shonen Jump is about to get a lot more mature and advanced. Again, it still had a lot of elements of stuff because, which it was dark. I'm not gonna lie. Like Hachimaru committing seppuku in the end to save his father. Again, if this was a Seinen magazine, it would have been even darker. But that alone was like, whoa. You know, we're heading up I don't want to say mature because it's not like violence is a great description of maturity in any form, or a good one for that matter. But it definitely showcases a change in the times. This is the first series in this new era in Japan in general. So if they're going up this route, depending on the success of this, we could see where Shonen Jump heads altogether, because this is something totally different from what Shonen Jump has established up until this point. Again, it's science fiction, and maybe I'm not that adverse in the field of science fiction manga, especially from Shonen Jump, but I know enough to say that this isn't anything like, especially what you would expect from Masashi Kishimoto. It doesn't feel 100% like, oh, okay, this is just a standard shonen series. And I mean, with everything that happened in chapter 1, I'll definitely say one thing: the QB chakra mode Naruto looking samurai that was hunting down that key, and you know, that Hachimaru went up against, I'll say right now, I'm willing to bet he's gonna come back. I don't know if he'll be like more of a Vegeta type of character, but I could bet my bottom dollar I could see him somehow returning. It just seems as though there was a reason why he was a part of this first chapter. It could just be that he's a throwaway character, but I don't know, especially that's Masashi Kishimoto's like favorite character design, Naruto, I'd imagine, right? One of them. So that character will probably be returning. But for a first chapter, the events leading up onto it, again, a lot of context to digest, a lot of story, a lot of plot. But I felt as though it was very powerful. It was very interesting to see a little bit of a twist. If you're going into this one expecting, oh, it's going to be a Naruto clone, you'll be a bit, disappointed if that's what you want, or if that's what you're coming in immediately trying to criticize. Because one, Naruto was with no parents in the beginning. You know, he was an orphan essentially. Hachimaru, father in his life there, so that's one big change already from that plot. Another thing, I would argue, if there was something that I was a bit disappointed with this thing, and I know I'm jumping off from, hey, the comparisons to Naruto, but just hear me out. If I would say one disappointment, it would probably be that I would have rathered Hachimaru stayed that kind of disabled type of robotic character that he was in the beginning, opposed to after he tried to commit seppuku and, turned into this freaking Astro Boy essentially, which this could be what they're trying to do, promote the next generation of Astro Boy. Maybe this is what, well, it's definitely influenced. I could see all the influence in it. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. Like, this is the first manga of this new generation. This is going to be the Astro Boy essentially for Shonen Jump. So maybe that's what they're trying to do. But I didn't like that. It just kind of took what could have been something really interesting to see, again, this disabled robotic kid, Hachimaru, overcome adversity. And now I don't know exactly where we're headed. It kind of set up so many different breadcrumbs for things that is like, yo, this could be great foreshadowing for down the road. And then it just handles it very quickly. Again, the samurai cat thingy being the instructor, whatnot, just a lot of cool stuff. Honestly, this was a great first chapter. I feel as though this is going to be something unique at the very least. And I know that people are going to have, because again, there's going to be the criticism. I've seen it, but I could at the very least say I thought this was fascinating for a first chapter, and I can't believe I'm using that word, but I describe it as fascinating that this is a Shonen Jump thing, and this could be, again, the direction where Shonen Jump is headed, going into a more mature, more advanced, more seinen feeling, adult feeling storytelling at the very least for Shonen Jump. Or it could just be a fluke. It could just be because Masashi Kishimoto is so trusted with what he did with Naruto that they're like, yo, if Akira Toriyama could go from Dr. Slump to creating Dragon Ball, the biggest thing out there, we can try and do that with him. Naruto could be Masashi Kishimoto's Dr. Slump. Samurai 8 could be his Dragon Ball. That'd be freaking crazy. But I'm kind of curious what a lot of you guys thought of the first chapter of Samurai 8, The Tale of Hachimaru. Did you think that this was a strong first chapter, especially that there's a lot of marketing behind this? This is very important to this magazine and all of this stuff. This is going to be around for a while. Did it blow you away? Was it too much for you? Was it too complex? Because it was very, very busy. And what did you think about the plot so far? The characters that we have. We got Hachimaru. We have this whole samurai theme. We have these reincarnations. A lot of really interesting concepts that, honestly, it's reminiscent of stuff that we saw in different parts of Naruto. So you can see he has influence from his previous series, which most authors at this point, that seems to be par for the course when they start up a new one. But damn, it feels like this could be a whole different direction. I'm starting to wonder how far in to Samurai 8 are we going to be saying, you know what, it would be wrong at this point to almost compare it to Naruto, because this could head in a whole different direction than what we've had with Shonen Jump Battle Series thus far, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm not gonna lie. I hope that they tone down on making Hachimaru this crazy freaking strong being. It's like, yo, we got 6 keys to collect. We already got 1 in the very first long chapter, which long, but again, a lot to digest, and I enjoyed it. And yo, bro, thoughts and expectations for the future of Samurai 8. This is going to be one series that I'm going to give it a test. If you guys ain't rocking with it after a few chapters, maybe I put it down. I really like it so far, though. I'm looking forward to talking about it more, and I'm looking forward to seeing if Masashi Kishimoto can truly do what he set out to, and that's create something that surpasses Naruto. Naruto was huge, still is huge in the US, worldwide. It's like, in my books, only a couple notches, maybe 1 or 2 behind Dragon Ball in terms of popularity. Let's see if Samurai 8 can do that. Freaking crazy. I really liked it. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Please hit the bell to get all notifications. I'd greatly appreciate it. You know, YouTube don't be sending them out, so if you want to see them, hit the bell. And if you want more, links in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule. Anime and manga for life, boy. Bow. Have an awesome day. Can't forget the music, though. Hold on, let me play y'all a little something real quick.
Make sure your next move is your best man. Feeling small, but I guess less. But always remember, no matter the weather, I was October through to September.